All right. Hello, and let's see. We got already had some questions here. What's your favorite baby Bach? Don't have one. What's your favorite Shocky? Don't have one. Let's see. Beer on the porch, 83. Okay. Wow, we already got 4 people watching already. Hey guys, so as always, I do appreciate any and all likes and shares to help with the algorithm, help get more people in here. Do appreciate those. Let's see. So, let's see. We're going to. We got 4 people already watching. I might start a little early, depending on. Hey, action, ATC. Just popping in to say hi. Hey, Mike, and wish you a great show night. All right. Yeah, we haven't. I understand you're working now, so I know you haven't been in as much. But thank you for dropping in there, ATC. Hopefully, even if you lurk, you can still at least catch up on what we're doing. So, what's going on? Not much, Trop there. Not much. See, we got 4 people in here already, so let's see. That's a good start, anyways, if we can hold that. All right, so let's see. So, how is everybody's day today? You all do anything exciting today? What's your favorite house siding pattern? Don't have one. And now we got 5 people in here. That's good. Hopefully we can start getting more people in here sooner. Your favorite snork? Don't have a particular favorite. I did watch them when I was a kid, but don't have a particular favorite. I don't have a son. I'm not married. Laugh out loud. Let's see now. All right, well, as we do have 5 people watching right now, and what a good. I guess I can kind of get started a little bit. Talk about what's on tap for tonight. Mr. Bork, 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 Bork. Well, anyway, yeah. So basically, I have 8 stories on tap for tonight. 4 comics related, 4 anime related. The first 3, of course, are from Bounding into Comics. One's from Critical Blast, R.J. Carter's site, and then the last 4, of course, are from CBR. Among those stories include Chuck Dixon coming out with a new title on Arctoons, a new Western title called Snake Hand. We'll look at that. A double shot of Dan Slott being a jerk, more than likely. Then we're going to learn a little bit about swipes from RJ. Talking about what swipes means in comic terminology. Also, we're going to learn a little bit about Dere Dere animes, some Gundam announcements, a profile piece on Gunbuster. So we have, as I said, 8 planned for tonight. So let's see. The person you need is Nanny McPhee. Whatever. Your favorite dump truck? Don't have one. What's your favorite military branch? Well, I'd say if I had to pick one, it would be Army or Navy rather, since they were considering me after my ASVAB scores. Would you study terminology? Well, I kind of do, or entomology. Anyways, so so why don't we go ahead and get started on the stories here? Here we go. We're going to get started on covering these stories here. All right, so here's the first story we're covering for tonight, guys. New Western titled Snake Hand from Chuck Dixon coming to Arctoons. Article by John F. Trent published earlier today. And of course, there was a comment in reply, so we might go ahead and see what's said there. Chuck Dixon and Archaven Comics publisher Vox Day continue their partnership as Dixon will be bringing a brand new Western to Arctoons, Archaven's webcomic platform. And here, I guess, is Snake Hand right here. Sidewinders Book 1. I guess written by Chuck Dixon or by John Neal, it looks like. Dixon's partnership with Day and Archaven runs deep, as he's currently penning new Midnight's War stories. He also has Chuck Dixon's Avalon, Alt Hero Q, Something Big, Go Monster Go, and more on the webcomic platform. Not to mention, Dixon has also been curating a number of classic comics to incorporate on the platform that include a number of different genres such as mystery and war. Chuck Dixon presents classic war stories. That looks like pretty interesting thus far. The new Western is titled Snake Hand and sees Dixon team with artist John Neal tell a story of Texas lawman Joe Wiley as he attempts to bring law and order to the hive of scum and villainy known as Mercury Wells. Okay. Mercury Wells. Yeah, I don't think that's a good thing to have in your wells, a lot of mercury. I think that leads to a lot of lead poisoning, as it were. The official description begins, quote, the Texas town wanted law and order. What they got was Joe Wiley. As a young man, he roamed the border country with a pack of wolves who walked like men until fate placed him on another path, unquote. Quote, Joe Wiley took to wearing a badge and became a man with a reputation for never backing down from a fight. But the cesspool of vice, murder, and corruption that calls itself Mercury Wells has turned out to be the toughest challenges this lawman for hire has ever faced, unquote. It concludes. Dixon spoke to Bounding into Comics about the series and revealed that the original publisher he brought the book to thought it was too violent. He told us, quote, "This is a new edition of a book John Neal and I did a few years back. I took it to Castalia House because the publisher I brought it to thought it was too violent," unquote. Dixon also provided us some more details about the book, saying it's the story of a lawless town that hires the toughest gun hand they can find to bring order out of chaos. Gun hand would be the same thing as gunslinger, I believe. Somebody who knows how to handle a gun, basically. He shows them what real chaos looks like, unquote. Chuck Dixon presents Mystery Classics. Excuse me a moment. I go off camera for a moment. Oopsie, forgot to turn myself back on there. Anyways, I'm writing a book at the moment. Is there any chance you can read it? I don't read books too much. Hey, Mike. Hey, Leto. How goes it? All right. Got started early because we actually had some people in tonight. Nice little. I'm working on something, but I'll be listening in. Okay. Hey, Toys. I see you there. Yeah, he was on earlier. Popped in earlier. Hope you're doing fine, my friend. Hello, Leto. Hello there, Leto. Hey there, Solid. Ant Labyrinth, my bork, the LB. Okay. How goes it, my friend? Solid a girl? I don't think so. I don't believe he is. On the floor with okay, whatever that means. Hey, Woody. Hope you're well. And Leto in response, Solid in response to Leto. Good. What's with all the questions these people are asking? Well, couldn't tell you. Solid. You might want to ask them about it. Anyways, guys, as always, guys, I do, of course, appreciate any and all likes and shares. helps get more people in here and helps with the algorithm. So thank you all for. Um, well, anyways, back to the article here. Um, Snake Hand will be the first in a series of action thrillers called The Sidewinders that Arctoons promises will quote unquote set the West ablaze. It is set to debut on Arctoons in September. The second volume will be titled La Gringa. Snake Hand isn't the only book that Dixon has in the works for Arctoons. The official Arkhaven Comics Patreon posted an update detailing that Dixon will also be teaming up with Anthony Gonzalez Clark for a book titled My Sister Suprema. No details about what the series will be about were revealed, but Dixon did reveal a cover and it showed a giant robot looking to pummel a female superhero. Okay. Take a look. And for those of you just kind of curious, if you don't know who Chuck Dixon is, he's a guy who created, I believe he created Bane. I also believe, from what I read recently, I think he may have also created Tim Drake originally. My Sister Suprema. Dixon previously revealed a sneak peek at the series back in July when he shared artwork showing a woman using a knife to put herself in an extremely awkward position in a doorway. Using a knife to put herself in an extremely awkward position in a doorway. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay, kinda kooky. Outside of Dixon, Arctoons will also be launching a new science fiction series called Faraway Wars. No details on the creative team or what the story is about were revealed, but Vox Day did share a sample page revealing what looks to be three heroes being celebrated in a futuristic world that include flying cruise ships. Imagine taking a cruise on a flying cruise ship. Are you looking forward to these upcoming title markings? Which one are you most looking forward to? So, okay. Well, Ben here was saying an ultra violent Western color me intrigued. Yeah, something a lot of the woke crowd would probably not be caring for. Faraway Wars, is that John T. Right? Why, yes, it is. Buy a big house and live in the suburbs. All right, so that's it for that story. No, I just like waifus. What's your favorite thing? Don't have a particular favorite. Solid. I'm in California, so no, we don't get a lot of hurricanes. Uh, I couldn't do that. What's your favorite angry orchard? Don't have one. Anyways. All right, so here we go. Here's the next story we're covering for tonight. Anyways. All right, so here's the next story. Marvel Comics and Spider-Man writer Dan Slott explains why he is not doing any convention appearances. Oh, this should be good. Of course, I would think it's probably because nobody really wants to see this guy, considering how much of some of the things he said about Trump and all that. But let's go ahead and look into this. Marvel Comics writer Dan Slott, who is currently writing Fantastic Four and known for his run on Spider-Man, recently revealed why he's not doing any convention appearances. Slott's explanation came in response to a tweet from DC Comics writer Tom King, who recently appeared at AwesomeCon in Washington, D.C. And we read that story yesterday about the whole Rorschach. King wrote, "Love seeing people at cons, but yesterday we had, and of course we all know about that because we've already read all that from the other day." Slott responded to the tweet, providing his explanation for why he's not doing any conventions. He tweeted, quote, "That must have been horrifying. That is my current con nightmare. It's why I'm not doing any," unquote. I would think it's because nobody wants to see you. I know that's probably what Yellow Flash would argue, is that nobody wants to see you. You don't make any money at cons. Quote, "I don't know how you can bring yourself to go. I'd be in a constant panic state, and you've got a family," unquote, he added. Slott and shared a tweet he posted to his timeline. Quote, "Apparently there are a lot of people online who either don't know or don't care that even if you are vaccinated, you can still get infected, become a carrier, transmit the virus." Unquote. Quote, "Get sick, recover, and suffer a lifetime's worth of painful long-term COVID side effects," unquote, he added. Worrying about it and, worrying about it's not going to do any good, though, I mean, it's like living in fear of a virus is stupid, okay? I mean, look, you could sit there and you could get in your car and you could sit there and get a fatal car accident. Does that mean you stop driving? You'd be cooking on your stove and a gas leak will cause it to explode and you could literally burn to death. Does that mean you stop trying to cook? If I mean, you could step out of your house and and a stray bullet could find its mark on you. You could die right at your store. Does that mean you just never leave your house? I mean, you don't let fear like that take over your life. Hey, Dave. As always, guys, if you can help out with likes and shares and all that, that'd be appreciated. I do, see if we can get some more people in here, hearing the content. Let's see now. The vaccine has a likelihood of giving you psychocardias, a weakening of the heart muscle. I'd rather risk severe flu. A lot of these. Again, I think as I've said before, the vaccine, the mask mandate, vaccine and mask mandates. It's not about public health. It's about control. And we need to really stand up to that control and be ready to do anything and everything to, to basically end that attempt at control. Myocarditis. Hey. Hi, by the way. Hey, Dave. 666. Hi, Dave. Kind of interesting you said that, Poopy Butt, because I think some people have actually. I've seen some, from some friends of mine on Facebook. I've seen kind of that analogy used. Actually, not quite that one, but the idea of. I know there's, I guess, one meme out there where people, it's kind of more illusionary to the concentration camps back in World War II, where you'd have the numbers marked on like the person's arm, what they compared the vaccine to. Hi, Dave, from Woody. No, I won't be auditioning for. Let's see. The Centers for Disease Control does admit that even if you have been vaccinated, you can still get COVID variants. Just like if you wear a mask, you can still get COVID. Okay. I know that I kind of saw, not that I'm trying to get too political on this, but I did see a report like about a week or so ago where I guess it was Trump's head of CDC was even saying that we may want to look more at trying to treat COVID as opposed to cure it. Because COVID-19 is it, it's just another strain. It's a variant strain of the common cold. Because I think the common cold and COVID-19 are in that same viral family. Because I think the common cold is classified as like COVID-6 or something like that. So it's a virus. There is theoretically no real cure for it. So in an article titled, quote, "Have you been fully vaccinated?" unquote, they state, quote, "To reduce the risk of being infected with the Delta variant, and possibly spreading it to others. Wear a mask indoors in public if you are in an area of substantial or high transmission, unquote. They add, quote, you might choose to wear a mask regardless of the level of transmission if you have weakened immune system or if because of your age or an underlying medical condition you are at an increased risk for severe disease, or if a member of your household has a weakened immune system, is at increased risk of severe disease, or is unvaccinated. I'm going to live my life free. You know, live free or die. That's a motto that I think we all should live by. Government does not, the Constitution was put there to make sure that people like Joe Biden weren't going to be able to try this stuff. Okay? Let's see. The CDC also recommends fully vaccinated people to get tested if they had close contact with somebody who had COVID-19. They explain, quote, if you've had close contact with someone who has COVID-19, you should get tested 3 to 5 days after your exposure, even if you don't have symptoms. You should also wear a mask indoors in public 14 days following exposure till your test result is negative. You should isolate for 10 days if your test result is positive. As for the long-term effects, the CDC states, quote, post-COVID conditions are a wide range of new, returning, or ongoing health problems can experience 4 or more weeks after first being infected with the virus that causes COVID-19. COVID-19, unquote. They go on a list of a number of symptoms: difficulty breathing or shortness of breath, tiredness or fatigue, symptoms that get worse after physical or mental activities, difficulty thinking, concentrating, sometimes referred to as brain fog, cough, chest or stomach pain. Yeah, this is an increased list from what it was originally. Originally, it was just a cough, fever, and shortness of breath. You see, here's the thing about it. They're gonna keep adding symptoms until everybody's just so scared that they'll comply. That's why you shouldn't comply. Okay? Yes, this is a power play. Let's see. Okay. They say all, but these can also be symptoms of a whole lot of other things. Okay, the common cold, for example, or a flu, or maybe just you know just an allergy. Fast beating or pounding heart, also known as heart palpitation, joint or muscle pain, pins and needles feeling, diarrhea, sleep problems, fever, dizziness or standing, lightheadedness, dizziness on standing, rash, mood changes, changes in smell and taste, changes in period cycles. Again, no, a lot of these symptoms can be symptoms of almost anything and everything. Again, this is just them adding more and more symptoms until you're just so afraid that you'll comply. You're just so afraid of a virus that you'll get down on your hands and knees. You'll bow down to government. You'll bow down to Joe Biden. You'll bow down to the Democrats. Don't do it. Okay? They try to force you fight back. Okay? many people died to establish the very freedom and liberty that there are some in society who are so willing to just so easily give away. There are many people over the years who have died to establish and maintain those very freedoms and liberties. Okay? That's why I take a lot of this with a grain of salt. Because, you know, you basically, a lot of these are also symptoms of the common cold, which is also a form of COVID. I think, as I said, it was COVID number 6. Okay. COVID-19 just has more serious complications. But the fact is, people, is that as human beings, we're all going to die at some point, anyways. So why worry about it? We're all mortal, so we're all eventually going to die. Shouldn't stop living your life as you see fit just because, oh, there's a new virus out there. And yeah, it may be for certain people, it may be more, but a lot of viruses are. Okay? Yeah, for some of those same people that they're talking about, people who have some respiratory issues. Okay? They're also pretty, for some who have serious respiratory issues, a common cold could kill them. Okay? So, hey, Robert Roberts, see you there. Let's see. Maybe it would be best if we consulted our doctors for medical advice. Well, yeah. What is a comic topic? Actually, we're talking about Dan Slott here, believe it or not, Roberts, and why he said the only reason that we're even talking about COVID here is because it's actually part of this particular article. This is Dan Slott saying why he doesn't go to cons, and of course they got into the whole, what the CDC says about COVID and all that. That's why we're talking about it. But yeah, this one is really grinding his gears. Black pill stream. Well, you talking about me there? Not to mention Love Potion number 9. Yeah. Anyways, let's try to get through this a little quicker so we can move on because I have like 6 more after this. So, okay. On top of these symptoms, the CDC reports people can also suffer from multi-organ effects, which, quote, can affect most, if not all, body symptoms, including heart, lung, kidney, skin, and brain functions, unquote. Again, I personally believe they're making more of this than really the need to be. But anyways, you can also have autoimmune conditions that, quote, happen when your immune system attacks healthy cells in your body by mistake, causing inflammation, painful swelling, or tissue damage in the affected areas of the body, unquote. I think this is kind of one of the counters to the whole CDC, to the whole arguments about. They even note some individuals can, quote, experience multi-system inflammation syndrome during or immediately after a COVID-19 infection. MIS is a condition where the body parts can become inflamed. Centers for Disease Control also notes individuals can suffer, quote, post-intensive care syndrome, PICS, which refers to health effects that begin when a person is in an intensive care unit, ICU, um, and can remain after a person returns home. Sounds psychosomatic to me, but quote, these effects can include severe weakness, problems with thinking and judgment in post-traumatic stress PTSD. PTSD involves long-term reactions to a very stressful event, unquote, they add. What do you make of Dan Slott's explanation or why he's not making any well, I mean, it's his life. I mean, he doesn't want to make money. He doesn't want to make money. It's just, falling into the whole communist BS stuff. That's not going to do him much good. Oh, here's somebody was saying here that list of symptoms is comically long. It pretty much describes everything that can happen to people if they have even a slight, which is true, which is the point I was making. Again, they're like adding on symptoms to make it more scary. I'm betting the real reason is he can't get to the door. Well, that's a possibility. He's morbidly obese. If he's concerned about COVID, maybe he should work on that. Which is true because they say people who are in more unhealthy states. Anyway, okay, that's enough of reading those comments. Let's move on to the next, which again is Dan Slott again. Got a double whammy of Dan Slott there. Hey, Woody, sometimes I want body parts inflamed. Hey, Mame. Sup, everyone? Wow, 5. Yeah. I do appreciate any and all likes and shares. If you can help out with that, that'd be appreciated. Now, of course, we got up to 6 dislikes. All right. So, anyways, let's see now. Hi, Mimi. Yeah. Well, again, if you can help me by liking and sharing the stream, that would really help. We had 10 dislikes last night. Well, actually, all those went away overnight. Well, not all of them. There's 6 dislikes to 9 likes. So, hey, Woody. Hey, Leto. Thank you guys for all the likes and shares. It does help with the algorithm. All right. So anyway, here's the next article we're going to read through. This will be the last of the articles on bounding into comics, and we're going to be heading over to Critical Blast for a comics article. So Marvel writer Dan Slott polices fans' Twitter activity, blocks them for following Comicsgate affiliated accounts. Spencer Bakuli published article by Spencer Bakuli published earlier today. So Dan Slott is really getting a lot of bounding into comics attention today. Probably for all the wrong reasons, but hey, whatever. Marvel author Dan Slott, who may be best remembered for either his previous run on Amazing Spider-Man, his current run on Fantastic Four, or his disastrous appearance on Disney Plus Marvel 616, recently admitted to not only policing who a fan followed on Twitter, but also blocked them after discovering said fan followed a number of Comicsgate affiliated accounts. Okay, so how exactly do you police a fan? How exactly do you pull that off? On August 20th, which was last Friday, comic book YouTuber Joshua Quirk announced via his personal Twitter account that he had been blocked by Slott, quote, because I disagreed with him politely, then in brackets, he responded and blocked me before I could respond, unquote. Further noting, quote, this is another reason comics nowadays are crazy. I liked Dan, I just disagreed with one thing. And as we all know, with these jerk offs, we cannot you cannot disagree with them, or you're not a fan of theirs. You must bow down and kiss their rear end, or you're not a fan. Yeah, bend over in front of me. I'll probably kick you where the sun don't shine. Jerk off. Only problem is these clowns would probably enjoy it on some level. In the screenshot provided by Quirk, the YouTuber can be seen responding to Slott's assertion that, quote, we'd be in a worse place with more American deaths than if, in brackets, Donald Trump were still in office, by arguing that, quote, the border crisis, Afghanistan, gas prices, jobs, brackets, inflation, all would be taken care of way better, and some would have never happened, in brackets, if Trump was still in office. So I think Quirk is saying that Quirk's a supporter of. Yeah. Quote, Afghanistan would be just as bad, parentheses, or worse, because of how Trump was actually dealing with the region and how Stephen Miller was going. No, that's not true. That's a lie. That's a lie, or he's definitely misinformed. And visa process, unquote. Slott speculated in reply, quote, gas, jobs, inflation, the economy would have been far worse because no vaccine rollout and far more American deaths. Again, not true. Trump actually was doing a vaccine rollout. He just wasn't forcing people to take it. Vaccine still would have got out there. He was just not mandating it. He was allowing people to make the choice for themselves. So that's a lie. And the economy, no, it would still be very good because it was still going good. The only reason that the economy started stinking is because, or the economy started, having problems is because, the governors in blue states like mine here in California were trying to screw over Trump. So they were actually implementing, implementing anti-Trump policies in their own states. It's one of those things of cut off your own nose to spite your own face kind of thing. Taking notice of Quirk's announcement that he had been blocked, Slott informed the YouTuber, quote, I blocked you because I checked who you were following, unquote. Quote, and you are following a number of accounts that are members of an online hate group who have actively harassed people in the comic book industry who are from marginalized communities, including, no, not true, POC, LGBTQ+, and female creators, unquote, he added. No, they haven't harassed them. They've just stood up to their BS and not allowed them to play victim. While Slott did not specifically name, quote unquote, the hate group in question to which a number of the accounts Quirk follows supposedly ascribed, given his description that said group, quote, actively harass people in the comic book industry, unquote, it can be safely assumed that he is referring to Comicsgate movement, which has routinely been described in similar terms by numerous comic book professionals. To that end, at the time of writing, a cursory glance of the 550 accounts Quirk follows confirms that he follows such Comic-Gate-related accounts as Chuck Dixon, Just Some Guy, Heel vs. Babyface, Engeltine, and Douglas Ernst. However, Quirk is also following a number of comic book accounts who have vocally positioned themselves counter to Comicsgate movement, including those belonging to Mark Waid, Jerry Ordway, Ron Martz, and Kurt Busiek. So it sounds like he's not really trying. He's just a fan of comic book writers. He's not necessarily. He may disagree with those on the left, but he still likes and respects their work. But it just goes to show you just how much of a bunch of female genitalia, white knighting people these are. You know. You know. I think you guys know the word. You just know I'm not going to say the exact word, but well, I guess I could say a variation of it that's not as bad. Wussy. These wussies. All right. Oh. Hey, Woody. Hey, Leto. And hey, Mimi. All right. All right. So, anyways, as we continue on with the pushing back. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's get back to this article. Pushing back against Slott's childish assumptions. Oh, way to call it like a spade there, Spencer. I believe it was Spencer who wrote this article. Let me double check that. Spencer, or was it John Trent? Was it Spencer? Yeah, Spencer Bakula. Way to call him out there, Spencer. On that line. Pushing back against Slott's childish assumptions, Quirk declared, quote, Dan, I follow a lot of people from the left to the right, unquote. Quote, I do interviews with comic creators from Mark Russell to Brian Hill, unquote. He continued, Quote, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat because I feel that it puts me in a box. I follow both sides to see what the other side is saying. That's it, unquote. But again, as we know with people like Dan Slott, if you don't agree with him, therefore, it's the old, if you're not with me, you're against me mindset. You're not my friend and you're my enemy. There's no middle ground there. However, this explanation was unsatisfactory for Slott, who wrote in response, quote, this isn't a question of, in lower quotes, both sides, end quote. Quote, you follow a number of accounts that have actively harassed people in the comic book industry and stars because they're from marginalized communities, unquote. No, they haven't, claimed the Marvel writer. Quote, that's not a left or right thing or a Dem and Republican thing. It's a right or wrong thing, unquote. Offering a further explanation, Quirk noted, quote, if they did something bleeped up, I'll call them on it. But I don't know who you're talking about, unquote. Quote, I have over 500 people I follow and don't even see 100 of them a day. Most of them are from years ago, unquote, said Quirk. Quote, but if you still want to block me, go ahead. It's your account, man. I don't know what XOXO means, but if that's supposed to be like some kind of thing, whatever. But acknowledging Quirk's point, Slott simply wrote, quote, I get that. Honestly, I don't really think you do, but I personally don't think he does. And when asked by the YouTuber if they were quote unquote good, the author again offered a simple one word answer, quote unquote, sure. In conclusion to this interaction with Slot, Quirk deleted the relevant thread, quote, because it was spreading a lot of hate, unquote. Quote, I didn't think it would blow up like that, unquote, concluded Quirk. Quote, please only spread love, unquote. What do you make of Slot's policing of a fan's Twitter account? I think he's an idiot. Slot's an idiot who nobody should really take serious. XOXO means, oh, okay. Hugs and kisses, huh? I'm actually surprised anybody would want to give that man hugs and kisses, but considering just the kind of, he talks about how, oh, they're the ones who spread hate. No, he's the one spreading hatred. He's the one who has hatred in his heart. Yes, as I say on occasion, I do try to be positive with the stories I cover, but I will call out BS when I have to, and you guys know that. When it's absolutely necessary, yeah, we do need to call out the BS when it's necessary. So wow, we're at 58 minutes, so just to get through those three, and we're like not even halfway there yet because I got like 5 more to go. Next stop we're going to go to is RJ's site, the Critical Blast site. An article there I decided to read today. So we're going to learn a little bit about swipes here in terms of what they are in the terms of the terminology of comics. Hey, let up. Hey. Yipes swipes. Indie comics artists seeing their work in unexpected places. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Submitted by R.J. Carter on Friday, August 20th, 2021 at 14:12. So that's 2:12 in the afternoon. That's basically military time. Swipes is a slang term that can sometimes mean homage, homage, and sometimes mean plagiarism. In the comic book industry, it generally refers to an image, most frequently the cover image, where the artist relies on a previously published work as a reference. Most times, this is done without the intention of hiding anything. Artists appreciate other artists, and they will usually sign their name to the finished piece with, quote, after other artists, unquote, to pay their respect. And sometimes, and more rarely, it's just done for expediency without attribution, just so the job gets done. Comic artist Greg Land gets discussed a lot when the comic shop conversations turns to swipes, having frequently used published photos of models and even other artists' work, like this aliens piece discussed here, that's a link to. We won't go to that. Usually, the swipe is obvious, and often it's from another well-known, in parentheses, or at least mainstream peer in the industry. Um, but lately, independent artists have begun questioning whether or not their own works have begun influencing their more fortunate counterparts in the mainstream. I guess a tweet from Douglas Ernst here. Um, Talking to a friend, Punchline versus DC's Punchline, and Soul Finder versus DC's Soul Plumber. Coincidence? Totally incorrect? Or something more? Okay. Douglas Ernst, columnist for the Washington Times and creator of the graphic novel series Soul Finder, pointed out some similarities over at DC to one of his covers. Quote, and then we read, of course, all that tweet. The tweet contained 4 images, 2 from independent books, 2 from DC, that showed superficial similarities to each other. And I think from here, Anarctic Press's Punchline #4, cover by Matthew Walden. DC Suicide Squad #1, cover by Wu Chu Lee. So what I'm kind of starting to wonder here is he saying that DC swiped from maybe the independent comic creator, or is he saying that it went the other way around? Maybe we'll figure it out as we continue to read the comic here, reading the article rather. The first comparison was from an image of Arctic Press's Punchline #4 with art by Matthew Weldon. The scene showed the main protagonist of the series laying on the floor with her hair splayed about her. Splayed means out there, spread out. In contrast to this, we see DC Suicide Squad #1, a variant cover done by Wu Chul Lee, featuring Harley Quinn in a very similar pose. Poses are not exact, which is an argument against it being a swipe, but they are similar in enough aspect for a compelling case. Indeed, covers don't and shouldn't be exact copies to be a homage or swipe or an homage. It's another way of saying it. The header illustration for this article, for instance, shows a sequence of swipes that all pull from Rob Liefeld's The New Mutants number 87. But even Liefeld's piece traces back to the Silver Age issue of the Avengers number 145, with the assassin in a similar pose to Cable. But the remainder of the layout showing similarities of theme but different executions. The distance between theme and execution is greater in the second set of books. Ernst's own Soul Finder, Black Tide, and DC's Soul Plumber number 1, similarities in title name aside, both covers show the characteristics facing front left from the center. A strange creature behind them, the presence of attacking tentacles, and an underground setting of neon green mist. This one is far from being exact in execution, but the staging is similar enough that, when combined with the themes of the piece, an argument could certainly be made. Two books from different indie publishers having similarities to two books at DC could absolutely be a coincidence. But later the same week, a third coincidence cropped up. I will kill you. Lay your hands on me and I will. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. I know I kind of went a little. Just heard something in the background there that, in my background, kind of got me worked up a little bit. Sorry about that. Hey, sorry about that little spike of energy there. Only pose I want to see is Jack a pose. What is this? Like, you came over? Yeah, I just, one of those things where just mentally I just kind of spaced out for a moment there. Kind of forgot where I was for a quick moment there just because I overheard something. So my mind kind of wandered off a bit, but I'm okay. Let's see. So Niobe Origins number 1, alternate cover by Matthew Weldon. DC's Harley Quinn, Eat and Kill, tour number 1. Alternative cover by Natalie Sanders. Independent comics creator Larry Higgins, whose creator, Niobe, has been crowdfunded through several successful issues and has made transition over to Antarctic Press, making her first appearance in Exciting Comics number 17 this October. And I've seen Niobe on the open mic night several times. So, found that the alternative cover for his latest book, Niobe Origins number 1, currently funding on Kickstarter, bore a striking resemblance to Natalie Sanders' alternate cover for DC's Harley Quinn, the Eat, Bang, Kill tour number 1. Curiously enough, Higgins' alternate cover was also done by Matthew Wells. So I'm guessing then here, based on this, um, you know, I'm guessing here what they're saying is that maybe the mainstream comic artists are, I guess, swiping the indie comic artists covers. I guess that's what they're saying here. Um, okay. In the images, Harley's legs are in a different position than Naomi's, and there are completely different backgrounds. However, the covers are eerily similar to the point that when I load them into my picture viewer and hit the right and left arrows to toggle between the two, it looks like the same figure kicking her feet. The saying goes that once is happenstance, twice is a coincidence, and three times is a pattern. All three of the DC covers were done by different artists. So that's certainly less damning than if the same artist had done all three. Yeah, but it could be a company wide swipe as opposed to just individual swiping too. Um, for now, let's say it's quote unquote extremely curious and keep a watchful eye for more. And that looks like that's the end of the article right there. Yep. All right. So, anyways, all right. So, anyways, we're halfway through. We're let's see, hour and 12. Hopefully, these next four articles we'll be doing from CBR and anime will probably be get through those pretty quickly. Hmm. Guys, I'll be right back. Just got to step away from the computer for a moment. All right. So, anyways, I'm back now. Yeah, take it down. Yeah, I just needed to step away from the computer. I needed a drink of water for one thing. Got a whole bunch of well. Anyways, let's start getting into these anime articles. We're like hour 18, so these should probably go a little quicker. So here's the first article we're gonna look at. 5 great anime for dairy lovers. Dairy are known for their loving and positive attitude. Here are 5 great anime to watch if you love the warm and compassionate archetype. Article by C.M. Ramsberg, published 16 hours ago. Now this is probably going to be a fun article to read, in that after all that serious stuff we were just talking about, right? Nice to kind of venture off and look at some, or talk about some people who are loving and caring and not trying to spread division in the world. So let's get into this. Dairy are favorable to anime fans because of their bright and warm personalities. Dairy is a Japanese term to label characters who offer their unconditional love to nearly everybody they meet. With sympathetic and kind-hearted dispositions, they are full of love and affection that they're always ready and willing to give. Here are 5 anime to watch if you're a fan of the cheery and positive dairy archetype. Man, I wouldn't mind having a dairy young woman in my life right now. Fruits Basket. Yes, Toru. After the recent completion of its reboot, Fruits Basket is a must-watch for any dairy fan. The series protagonist, Toru Honda, is one of the most easily recognizable dairy in the anime universe. Given her positive and compassionate nature, despite her difficult life as an orphan, Toru's agreeable personality is nearly too flawless. She is warm and loving to everyone she meets, including Akito, who repeatedly threatens her life and those she cares about. Her unconditional love toward the Somas leads many of them to view her as a mother figure who will nurture and care for them despite their flaws and tragic past. Sweet. If Toru's extreme dairy personality isn't enough, Momiji is a major supporting character who's also a dairy. Can you imagine having one dairy on each arm, guys? I mean, maybe Toru on one arm and Momiji on the other. I think that would be quite fun, quite honestly. Let's see. Despite being around the same age as Toru and the other Zodiac members, Momiji has a childish and carefree attitude, puts others at ease. While he occasionally makes... Oh, so Momiji's actually a boy. Sorry about that. While he occasionally makes witty remarks at the expense of Kyo and the other characters. Okay, so maybe I wouldn't want Momiji on my arm, just Toru, or the female versions. But maybe for the ladies, of course, Momiji would be nice on one of the arms. He's empathetic to their situations and typically puts their needs above his own. Not only does the extent of Momiji's love come out whenever Toru is around, but it's also evident in his devotion to his little sister. Sailor Moon. Sure, we all remember. I'm sure we all have probably seen the Deke and Cloveway dubs of Sailor Moon. Some of us may have seen, Viz's redub, in the last couple years here. See what you guys are saying about this one. Sup, bro daddies? Not much. We were talking about Dan Slott earlier. BRB, gotta go to the bathroom. Okay. Hey, Batgoat. Okay. Take your time. And again, as always, guys, I do appreciate any and all likes and shares. That does help with the algorithm. Help see if we can get some more people in here. So here's Sailor Moon. So here's what they have to say about Sailor Moon then. Sailor Moon and Sailor Venus, basically the two blonde Sailor Scouts right there. One in the middle here is Sailor Moon, whose real name, of course, is Sagi, which is the Japanese word, I believe, for rabbit. And the other blonde over here is Sailor Venus, Minako. Are both Derry in the hit anime series Sailor Moon. As the anime's title or character, Sailor Moon's kind and compassionate personality provide an ideal role model for young girls and anime fans who watch the series. Also known as the Sailor Guardian of Love and Justice, Usagi Tsukino's Derry disposition makes her an understanding and exceptional leader of the Sailor Senshi. I mean, on some level, yeah, on that portion of it, but people might say there might be some other issues. Meanwhile, Minako Aino is the modern incarnation of planet Venus, which is known as the love planet and is associated with the goddess of love in Roman mythology. And of course, Venus's Greek counterpart is Aphrodite. Stemming from mythological love, it's no surprise that Sailor Venus would share the loving, compassionate nature expected of a Derry. Even Minako Aino's name translates to beautiful child of love in Japanese, making her the perfect embodiment of love itself. Okay, I gotta go off camera here for a quick moment. I'll be right back, guys. Let's see now. Back up saying, hobo golfing today, but I can't stop. Worst day hanging chains is better than best day of retirement. Woody. And then, hey, goat. I went to the boathouse, out of golfing, of course. My local brew house. Let's see. Hey, mate. Sounds like a good day, Bats. Did y'all catch Nick's stream yesterday? It was fun. Not really. The jerks started serving seltzers based off of one of their rice rice uh, pilsners. I can't stop drinking D thing. Banging chains is what cool kids call disc golf. Okay. Anyways, as we will continue on here, the article Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun. Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun stars Chiyo Sakura, a popular Dedere who wants nothing more than the love and affection of her classmate, Umetaro Nozaki. Chiyo's devotion to Nozaki is unwavering despite his odd quirks and being completely oblivious to her feelings. When she finally musters up the courage to confess to Nozaki, he mistakes this as an offer to help him with his manga work. Oh boy, he is really clueless. Dude, you are clueless. Oh boy. Not knowing that Nozaki was a famous manga artist and having no idea how to work on manga, Chiyo still agrees to be his assistant just to spend time with him. As a Dere with pure intentions, it's hard not to sympathize with Chiyo throughout her clumsy yet always hilarious struggles to win Nozaki's love. That's cute. That's cute. Love, Chunibyo, and other delusions. Let's look at this one. Many anime fans think of Rika Takanashi from Love, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions when discussing notable Dedere, Dere. Um, Despite being childish and stuck in a Chunibyo state, I guess that means childlike, due to past trauma, Rika experiences pure and innocent love for the first time after meeting Yuta Togashi, her apartment neighbor and new classmate when they meet on the first day of high school. It's soon revealed that Yuta had a deep Chunibyo past of his own. As the person who originally inspired Rika to delve into the world of fantasy and delusions, as the alter ego known as Eye of the Wicked Lord, unquote, Yuta accepts and embraces his embarrassing past as the quote unquote Dark Flame Master. While the couple's love for each other blossoms, they must overcome the fact that the Chunibyo lifestyle doesn't offer room for real romantic love, understanding that their love and relationship may differ from a typical couple their age. Rika maintains her Dere personality through it all. A3. Sakuya Sakuma from A3 is arguably the most cheerful and kind-hearted male Dere in the anime world. Sakuya is a passionate amateur actor who becomes the leader of the spring troupe because of his extraordinary ability to motivate and support his fellow actors. Finding it virtually impossible to say anything mean or negative, everyone naturally gravitates toward Sakuya's bright and pure personality as the main character of this reverse harem anime. Sakuya's Dere mature nature gradually spreads to his fellow troupe members, offering viewers an emotional, feel-good plot line, but about friendship and teamwork. Well, there we go. Well, there's that article. Also, 2 days ago, the guy from UB40. So I guess there's a few other little pieces. Maybe I should. Think. Okay. Let me tell that. Sounds like intercourse with the wife. Okay. Hey, Woody. Did you hear about Charlie Watts? R.I.P. Charlie Watt. Name does sound a little familiar. I think I saw you guys. Um, Last few years have been the worst. He was 80, so it's cool, but still sad. Sup, goat? Hi, Mimi. Also, 2 days ago, the guy from UB40 dies too. No, really, dude? Of that red, red wine song. And one of my favorite songs. Goes to my head and then red, red wine. Why men say only fools rush in, and I can't help falling in love with you. Yeah, the saxophonist, but he's one of the founding members. Better get some redwood wine tomorrow to give a proper drunken tribute. I had good memories when I was a kid when that song, we'd go to the pizza buffet and my dad would play that song on the jukebox for my mom. I remember hearing that song in Paris when I was 18. Guy from the Rolling Stones passed away, the drummer. Charlie was a drummer from the Rolling Stones. Oh, okay. Yeah, that song, thanks for singing it. Laugh out loud. No problem. I mean, I can sing. You guys have probably heard me sing before, so. Why men say only fools rush in, and I can't help falling in love with you. Anyway, so it looks like we're done with that article, so let's get ready to move on to the next one. And Nick has Drex 2 on tonight. Return of the Drex. Anyways. What time? How much? Oh, an hour. I'd better get through these. An hour 37 here. I'd better get through these last articles quickly here. All right, here's the next article. Gunbuster, the legacy of Hideki Anno's Top Gun-inspired mecha debut. Combining a tennis anime with science fiction and Top Gun, Gunbuster paved the way for Gainax and Hideki Anno's success. Hideaki Anno is also the guy who created Neon Genesis Evangelion, just as a heads up there. Article by Timothy Donahue, published 14 hours ago. Neon Genesis Evangelion is the anime for which Gainax, as well as series creator and company co-founder Hideki Anno, are known. While the series came out in the 1990s, Gainax was founded in the previous decade, producing several different works of note. One of those was the iconic Gunbuster, which would go on to become a landmark production in its own right. Combining a tennis anime with science fiction, cute girls, and Top Gun, Gunbuster ultimately paved the way for Gainax and Hideki Anno's success. Although it has been released outside of Japan before, strangely enough, it has never been officially dubbed into English. This is finally changing now that Discotek has a license, with Sound Cadence Studios producing an all-new dub for the upcoming Blu-ray release. So, if Discotek is the one who's dubbing it, Sound Cadence, it's likely going to be like the New York English voice actors, I believe, who will probably be dubbing. It'll be guys like Mark Thompson, Dan Green, Eric Stewart, maybe I know Veronica Taylor and Rachel Lillis and Megan Hollingshead have all moved out here to L.A. So, but maybe Lisa Ortiz and Angora Deb, a few others there. But basically, I think it's going to probably most likely be the New York crew. That basically the New York crews are the ones who did the Pokemon dubs through the years. So, before Westerners get an earful of an English translation of the OVA, here's what Gunbuster is about and why the show was so vitally important to Gainax and anime in general. What is Gunbuster about? Known in Japan as Aim for the Top, Gunbuster is an OVA series that originally ran from 1988 to the following year. Its Japanese moniker derives from the fact that it's a narrative combination of the tennis anime Aim for the Ace with elements of the American blockbuster film Top Gun. The protagonist is a young girl named Noriko, whose father was an ace pilot years ago in a battle against alien invaders. Man, this does sound like a good series to be ready to watch. Though she lacks his skill in piloting the gigantic RX-7 mechs, Noriko becomes one of the prominent students sent to defend the Earth from aliens. She gains friends and rivals as her adventures in space cause time dilation to take place. Constantly sent unwittingly into the future, the lives of those in the Gunbuster project slowly slip away as they lose track of time, literally. That's kind of a scary thing to happen. Almost 20 years later, a sequel title, Aim for the Top 2, or Die Buster outside of Japan, was released, featuring a new plot and characters. This movie marked the 20th anniversary of Gainax. However, this wouldn't be the end of the series' legacy, and the imprint of the original is still felt in many ways. Why is Gunbuster so important? There's a scene from it right there. Part of Gunbuster's success and legacy stems from its own quality. The OVA is considered a classic among anime aficionados for its writing, which jumps between serious military endeavors and satire and parody elements of other productions. Its lampooning of concepts from Aim for the Ace also enhances the self-referential humor throughout the series, making it one of the first anime productions to really embrace otaku culture. In terms of Top Gun, it shares the 80s movies over the top sense of style, high octane music, and even training montages. I went to the danger zone. Baby, right there in the danger zone. That's from Top Gun right there. Though it does eventually downplay the source material as science fiction themes of time dilation come to the forefront. The fact that Noriko is um, such a seemingly inadequate pilot not only recalls Gundam characters such as Amuro Ray, but also foreshadowed Shinji's characterization in Gainax's later series Evangelion. Speaking of Evangelion, Gunbuster was the directorial debut of Hideaki Anno. So he's a director, not the creator of that series. As mentioned, he obviously took elements from Gunbuster, meaning that Evangelion might not be what it is without the previous show. Besides his iconic mecha series, Anno, I think it's Anno. They write Anna here, but it's Anno. Has also directed other great works such as the live-action movie Shin Godzilla. Gunbuster was also the first major commercial success for Gainax, putting them on the map and allowing for future hits to be made. Soon, more fans than ever will be able to enjoy the series and see the roots of modern anime. Gainax and the prototypical elements of one of the most well-known mecha anime of all time. So there we go with that one. Let's see what you guys might be. We like your singing. Return of the Dark Side. I'm still on a blab break from Direct. He's good on he's good with Nick. He's good with Nick. Can't watch Drex. Also, he's fun to listen to with Dollhouse Phil. But with his producer Tim, I have to pass. I mean, can't watch him alone or with producer Tim. Yeah, I totally agree. Drex and St. Phil is always a good show. RX-7 Mech, really? Watch out for the Volkswagen Beetle attack ships. Wow, that's some poop writing there. No, Over the Top is a movie starring Sly Stallone. Well, I think they meant not over the top like the movie. I think they're talking like just over top action. Actually, we're at an hour 47 now, so I did have a couple more stories to get to, but I think I'll finish off here tonight only because we're running a little low on time here. Yeah, Dragon Dollhouse can go 8 to 9 hour minimum. So there were, I think, like two. Let me see. There was like one, two, like two or three others we could have probably got into, but I can already tell it's already getting pretty late here. So with these, we're already at hour 47. So I think I'm going to wrap things up here. As always, guys, I do appreciate any and all likes and shares. Thank you guys for that. Does help, especially with what's been going on the last couple of days here. Let's see. Yes, history. Back up. So are you guys ready for this day in Nietzsche history? Day in Nietzsche history on this August 24th, 2021. I'm ready. Nietzsche it up. Nietzsche it up. All right. All right. So, anyways, without any further ado, today being August 24th, 2021, well, let's take a look back on this day in Nietzsche history. And the first thing we're going to look at is going to take us back 20 years ago today. As on this date 20 years ago today, the Cartoon Network original Grim and Evil would debut on Cartoon Network 20 years ago today. Grim and Evil, which would, of course, spawn the two shows, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy and Evil Gun Carney. Well, Grim and Evil made their debut 20 years ago today on Cartoon Network. So I'm sure some of you might have grown up watching that. So, and also on this date 10 years ago today, the 255th issue of Betty and Veronica from Archie Comics went on sale on this date in 2011. So 10 years ago today, Betty and Veronica, the 255th issue of Betty and Veronica went on sale on this date 10 years ago today. So, there you go. Neat. I do like Billy and Mandy. Yep. I like Billy and Mandy. Not great, but watchable. All right. So, anyways, those are the only two pieces of Nietzsche news tonight, guys. I thank you guys again for being here. A reminder, of course, for everybody that in a little under 2 weeks from today, Monday, September 6th, which will be Labor Day here in the States, we'll be having our next open mic night. So I hope you all will want to come in and join in on the conversation. Also, don't forget this Friday, Batco and I will be finishing up our coverage of March 1938 on the historical comics retrospect as we look at David McKay publications and United Features. So let's see. No, I'm dreading that day, laugh out loud. So anyways, guys, I thank you guys again for being here, and I do appreciate any and all likes and shares. So until tomorrow, bye.